All right, welcome back. This is the Hammer Down Show on 1017 The Hammer, the 1017 The Hammer app. We're going to go over to our Hammerhead hotline. Very excited because we got high school football. Week 1 kicks off this week, and we've got a great guest to kick off our coverage with. Coach Michael Fenters over at McCutcheon just took over this role, came in from McConaughey, and is ready to try to take the Mavs to a whole new level this season. Coach, first off, congratulations on the gig. Welcome to the community. I do want to get into the Mavs and your matchup with Guerin this week, but first, since I hadn't had a chance to talk to you about this, you had a couple of years over at McConaughey. You come over to the Mavs. Tell me real quick, why this job? Why was this the time to make that jump from there over to the Mavericks in your estimation?
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate being on the show. Long time listener, first time caller.
There we go.
And I love the area. I love the community. It was one thing that when I was in the area previously, what I always appreciate about McCutcheon is there was a strong pride here. I mean, we plaster it all over our school, and we use the phrase "a mind, heart, spirit," for the idea that one day, 10 years from now, we want a kid to look back and be proud of what McCutcheon meant to them and what it gave to their lives. And I thought that, as I looked at programs and kind of had some life things going on my own and was lucky enough to welcome a child into this world and all those things, I wanted to build a place where I could be proud to come back, have my family here and things like that. I just really enjoyed the opportunity with that. Enjoy having a little project. There's definitely a lot we got to work on. It's definitely not a 1 year problem, but we're happy to do it. So
let's talk about how those first weeks kind of went. You have to build out your staff, you get the call out and all that stuff. How did that process go? Did you have an emphasis on anything really early on? It's not an easy thing just to make a jump from 3 to 5A, but I mean, just to get everything set up and going and identifying the issues in the areas that you want to work with. Talk about that like first month or so, how that went, building out your staff and everything.
Yeah, I was really lucky that I retained the former staff. I don't know that the previous issues were anything staff related. Everybody on the staff works extremely hard. I think our defensive coordinator, Brandon Rumler, is one of the brighter minds I've worked with. In fact, as I work on my scouting report today, I'm literally copying exactly how he lays out things and changing how I do it because of how he looks at things. And it's been really neat to have him. It's been really neat to have a lot of guys on the staff who are just, not only are they proud to be, tied to McCutcheon, but they've been doing it for years. And so when you come into a situation like that, I know a lot of coaches instinctually would say, hey, whatever we did at McConaughey worked unequivocally, or at Norwell when I was there previously, worked unequivocally. And there were things that do work seemingly universally. But there are also things that worked here, and we didn't need to strip everything away right away. I think that'd be disingenuous both to the people here and to the students who gave their time here previously. In those first couple of weeks, really, I mean, a lot of it was just identifying what were those areas of concern. We were a program that we didn't have enough helmets for everybody. We didn't have enough footballs. There was a lot of things that it kind of went to the wayside. And because I wasn't hired until, mid-April, we were kind of behind the 8 ball, so to speak, on it. So really a lot of it was shoring up a lot of those administrative sort of tasks. And then in spring ball and early summer, it was reestablishing expectations. You point out that we're a 5A program, but to be honest, roster size, we're very similar to a 3A program. We're going to feature multiple guys this year. They're going to have to giddy up and play Ironman football, not because I necessarily want them to spiritually. I understand what it means to them from a condition standpoint, all those things. But the truth of the matter is, if you look across many high school programs, we're all seeing a lack of participation. That is exasperated by a program that has not done well recently. So because of that, we have a smaller roster, and we've got two options. We can either keep acting like we are a 5A program, and therefore we should two platoon everybody because that's what you're supposed to do. Or we can take a play out of the book of all of our 3 to 1A brothers currently listening at, everywhere from South Newton to Benton Central and everywhere else, and say, you know what, just because we're a big program doesn't mean if a kid can play, they can play. And let them play on both sides of the ball. Let them have fun. And that's where we've really tried to reframe our kids. And that's a long process. That's not easy. It's not easy for the adults in the building either. But, we work every day to try to make it work to the best of our ability.
Early on here, have you felt like your team has established an identity? Let's just start with the offense here. I mean, a couple of guys that stand out, and do you feel like that they, again, have possessed any kind of identity, whether they want to run the football, be, multiple. I know everybody always says we want to be very multiple in what we do offensively here, but if I come out and watch the Mavericks on offense, what should I see?
Well, I think the first thing, when you look historically here over the past couple of years, the biggest, I guess, red flag, so to speak, offensively was a lack of time of possession and a lack of controlling the football. You're talking about a turnover margin that was, minus 10 to 15 against the offense, so to speak. You're talking about a time of possession on average that was, close to 30 minutes on the field for your defense. And while, I've called defense previously and we were really successful at McConaughey doing so, I recognized that when I took this role, one, I had that great DC in Brandon Rumler here. And I also knew that in order to make this play successful, I would have to go be the bad guys and go be on offense. And our first goal was really to control the football to the best of our ability. I think when you watch McCutcheon this year, you're going to see that we are a spread to run team. I don't hide from it. I think that's what we have personnel wise. We've got a quarterback that, while he has some experience, not necessarily a full season under his belt, we've got a lot of seniors that really want to win, really want to be a part of something special. But I'd be remiss not to point out that out of those seniors, you're talking about 3 of them that have significant starting returning experience, right? So yes, we are old, so to speak, but not really. So, we try to be as conservative as we can on offense, control the ball, capitalize, move the chains, and keep our defense off the field. And then defensively, our identity, because we retain the staff and retain the defense, we're still very similar in that capacity as well. 3-4 mixed team and that sort of thing.
Boy, it's not an easy start to the season. It's not an easy first half of the season. Not that there's, bunnies in this thing, but I mean, you're going to play Guerin this week here on the road and turn around and host West Lafayette, a game you'll hear on K105 next week. And of course, Shane Fry and that West Side team and how good they can be. We're not going to bring up that sectional that you just happened to win a couple of years ago over them. Yeah, that's okay. We also got Jeff on the schedule there, Culver, and then, Harrison. This is not an easy way to get into your first season as head coach. Let's just start with Guerin, though. As you get prepared here, have you looked at them early on here? What concerns you about Guerin, and what are you guys going to need to do in order to win that game on the road on Friday?
We're going to meet with our team here in a couple hours for a scouting report. I think the first thing I'm going to tell them is that you will not out-discipline Guerin. You won't catch them wrong. The fact of the matter is they're going to be more conditioned than you, and they're going to execute better. That's a credit to their program. That's a credit to the participation in their program. And their, summer programming, you're talking about, 70 to 80 guys as opposed to us having about 30, right? So it's just a different culture. And when you're rebuilding something, right, on the road to success, there's a lot of times, there's a lot of tests on the way. And this is going to be one of them where we're going to decide as a program, who are we? And I think when we look at them, again, extremely polished, extremely disciplined. They're younger in their secondary, but they play it really well. They play super conservative, bend, don't break, go ahead and bail, give you everything underneath. You can nickel and dime them and control the ball. You'll be okay, but you make one mistake and it's kind of over, right? So offensively for us, it's a lot of just be smart. Don't make our quarterback have to do everything. Also, rotate our running backs to the best of our ability. Defensively, you're talking about a guy in Dilly that is kind of a master of the quick game. He dares you to get out of the box so he can run it. And then vice versa, if you fill the box, he'll kill you to death with bubble and post wheel, right? So it's one of those things where defensively, I think as long as, we kind of stick to how we're going to approach the game and the decisions we're going to try to dictate to the offense, I think we'll be all right. But like I said, it's a heck of a first week. Not necessarily, if you could draw it up in your perfect scenario, it's no cupcake scenario, right? It's no easy walk in the park. But that's why we do this game, man. We love it. Anybody, anywhere, anytime, right? So that's just the mentality we got to have here. And we hope that we can start riding the ship here at McCutcheon.
Coach Michael Fenters getting ready for his debut. That'll be on Friday. They head down to Guerin. Next week, we will have them as the game of the week when they take on West Lafayette over there on the south side. It's going to be a good one there. I cannot wait for that, Coach. It's been great talking to you. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see this new era of Maverick football. And best of luck this Friday on that trip down to Guerin.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you to you listeners. Thank you to my family listening, and go Mavs.